Well, you've made it to the final video in this series on energetic alignment. I want to close with something that might feel a little counterintuitive at first, but I think it's one of the most freeing truths you will ever take into your work. Stay tuned. One of the most freeing and important truths about building anything, particularly a business, is that you will never close the gap. Between where you are and what you want, there will always be space, always a little distance, always something more on the horizon. And that's not a problem to solve. That's actually the point. Because you see, when we talk about energetic alignment, a lot of people assume that the goal is to find alignment so that you can arrive, to finally get to a place where the vision and the reality line up perfectly, where everything you've been reaching for finally is there. But here's what happens in practice. You work hard, you grow, you hit a milestone that once felt massive. You look around, you feel the satisfaction, and that satisfaction is real. It's worth celebrating. But you also notice that, somewhere along the way, what you want got bigger too. The goalpost moved, not because you failed, not because you headed in the wrong direction, but because you grew. Abraham Hicks puts it this way: you can't get it wrong, and you never get it done. I love that because it reframes everything. You're not behind, you're not broken. You're in a living, breathing, expanding process. And the gap between your desire and your reality is just evidence that you're still alive, still growing, still in the game. Think about it this way. Imagine you have a vision for your business. Maybe it's a revenue number, a team size, a type of client you want to serve. You pour yourself into it. You close the gap. You get there. And in the process, in all of that reaching and building and learning, you changed. Your capacity expanded. Your taste evolved. What satisfied you at the beginning no longer fully satisfies you now. So a new desire is formed, a bigger one, a truer one. That's not the universe being cruel. That's alignment working exactly as it should. You see, the gap isn't a sign that something's wrong with you or your business. The gap is a sign that you are in motion, that desire is alive in you, that growth is happening, that you haven't stopped expanding. A person with no gap is a person who's stopped wanting, and that's not alignment, that's stagnation. Now, not all gaps are created equal, and this part matters. There's a healthy gap, the kind that stretches you, motivates you, keeps you leaning forward without knocking you off balance. It's the gap that you can hold with curiosity and even excitement. I'm not there yet, and I can feel myself moving toward it. That gap has energy in it, and it's a creative energy. Then there's the gap that's too wide, the kind that creates anxiety or shame or a constant low-grade feeling that you're failing. When the distance between where you are and what you want feels so enormous that it stops being motivating and starts being paralyzing, that gap has crossed into misalignment. So the practice isn't to close the gap. The practice is to tend the gap. Keep the gap small enough that you can feel the pull without being overwhelmed by it. Notice when it's stretching you and when it's crushing you. That's the ongoing work of alignment, not a destination, but a relationship you maintain with your own desires. Now, here's what this means practically. Stop waiting to feel done before you feel good. The feeling of done isn't coming, and that's the beautiful thing. See, celebrate where you are while you hold where you're going. Those two things aren't in conflict. In fact, the ability to do both at once, to feel genuine appreciation for the present and eagerness for what's next, that's what alignment feels like. It's not flat, it's not static, it's alive. And your business reflects that. A business that's in alignment doesn't look perfect or finished. It looks energized. It has momentum. It has a pulse. There's a reason people can feel when they walk into a room or visit a website or read a blog post, whether the person behind it believes in what they're doing or not. That belief doesn't come from having arrived. It comes from being genuinely in love with the direction. So as we close this series, I want to leave you with this. The gap is not your enemy. The gap is the space where your business lives and breathes. It's where desire meets possibility. It's what keeps you creative, curious, and growing. Your job isn't to eliminate that gap. Your job is to stay aligned within it, to keep the gap at a size that feels like stretch, not splatter. To trust that as you move toward what you want will also grow. And that is the most natural, beautiful thing. You're not behind. You're not missing it. You're right in the middle of an infinite, expanding journey. And that kind of alignment feels less like pressure and more like privilege. If you'd like support in finding alignment and maintaining that gap, let's talk. Just contact me at the link in the description below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. My name is Boehnke. Until next time, I wish you abundance and joy.